This is You're Probably Right. Entertainment first, everything else is just bonus. Opinions, all ours. Sometimes backed by research, but never the final word. There are always exceptions, so take it with a grain of salt and a slight dusting of chili powder.
That's right.
If something in this episode resonates with you or you want to reach out directly, you can email the show at yprpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find the podcast on Facebook. Just search You're Probably Right podcast and the page should come up. And if you are listening somewhere other than Spotify, you can find the show there as well. Just search You're Probably Right and follow the podcast so new episodes show up automatically. All right, let's get into it.
Hello, y'all. How you doing? This is MCM, and you are listening to You're Probably Right. Remember, all of these episodes are for entertainment purposes only. I try not to cast aspersions and hate and all kinds of nonsense at other people. This is an evergreen podcast, they say. That's what they told me. Who are they, you say? Don't worry about it. Anyhow, as I said, welcome back to You're Probably Right. Welcome to my first-time listeners, my last-time listeners, my in-betweeners, my fair-weather friends, my regulars. Just think of it as me and you hanging out. Maybe we're driving down a road side by side, or maybe we're sitting on a beach somewhere or with beautiful blue skies, or maybe it's raining outside and we're just sitting on a couch chilling. Or maybe you're washing dishes and I'm sitting at the table talking to you, keeping you company or something, for those who actually hand wash dishes. Whoever, whatever. But I'm happy that you're here with me and hanging out. You could be doing something totally different. Maybe I just talk you to sleep and that's good enough for you. Who knows? Maybe you're in the hospital and you got nothing else to do and you don't really want to look at a screen. Maybe you can't look at a screen. Well, guess what? I'm here. And this is episode 315. And you are here too. I want to talk about something that has a lot of people acting brilliant 1 minute and then acting absolutely ridiculous the next. And not because they're not brilliant and not because they're ridiculous or because they're idiots or because they're weak or stupid, but because love, attraction, and uncertainty mess with our judgment so much. Today's episode is called Chosen, Not Confused. And we're going to get good, genuinely skilled at figuring out 4 things, hopefully by the end of this episode. I know I don't usually have so much structure, but imagine. Number 1, when someone has admiration for you, real respect, real value, and not just talk. When attraction is mutual, that's the second thing, sorry. When attraction is mutual and not just, you're hoping and you're projecting. Number 3, when commitment is real and whether they are willing to commit with you. And 4, when compatibility is actually there, not just chemistry, not just convenience or proximity. And under all of it, the big question is, are they choosing you? You know what I mean? Maybe when you're younger, really young, you just like, people come, people go, you come, whatever. But as you get older, it matters, the way we set up things. Some of us are under time crunches for certain things, so we can't just be out there dating willy-nilly. And people do care about, sometimes people ask if they, like I've heard it said before, but yeah, people do care about so-called body counts. People do care about the experiences that you've had with other people. Most guys, I would say, I don't know, maybe women, I can't really say. Again, this would be the good time to have a female voice in here, but or just another voice, really. But most people want to be able to do some things. I wouldn't say something, but I think they want to experience some things with you for the first time together. You know what I mean? I understand it's not possible in a lot of different ways for a lot of people's lives for different reasons. But also, if there are, the amount of new things that you can experience for the first time with the love of your life, the person you're spending the rest of your life with, you know, something saved. But I mean, that's a whole other. I just realized that I'm thinking of the whole concept. It's actually a whole other episode, really. Yeah. So I'm going to leave that right there because I was just kind of riffing a little bit and I realized I riffed into territory that would need to a better explanation that I'm willing to give right now or get into right now to veer off this topic. Anyway, here's what makes it hard in real life. Let's see, hold on a second. Wait. Um, the thing is, you want to make sure that someone is choosing you because the thing is, and I guess this is what I was trying to get to, and I kind of went off. It's just so important. I talked to someone again, and they were talking about respect and love, and people want to be loved. And I'm at the place now in my life where respect is is as important. You can tell me you love me and then disrespect me. You know what I mean? But respecting me, I don't know. There's something about respect for who I am, respect for the things that I've gone through that maybe you don't know anything about. Just respect and going both ways, of course. You know, because like a lot of people aren't really asking for a lot. The one thing that most people are asking for is honesty and clarity. They want to know what the picture is for real in many different instances and in many different ways when they're getting with you.
If this sounds familiar, follow the show so this kind of thinking stays close.
They're asking for, a straight answer. They're asking for a relationship that does not make them feel like, they're a part-time option or just an option. And, in real life, what makes that hard? It's signals really aren't definitive. They're probabilistic. You can do everything right and still get mixed signals because human beings are complicated. It's a fact. People have fear, people have pride, people have habits, people have trauma, people have social pressures and anxieties, people have options, people have timing issues. They just need a little time to get through something, or they think some people think they need to get through something alone and be alone for a while, and they're broken. And people have egos. So that right there lets you know how difficult it really is. It's not just finding someone who's nice and who makes money and who is willing to take care of you. There's so many other things, you know? So what I want to do today is give you a way to read the situation without turning into a detective and without turning into a beggar. I want you to have a process, a framework, something you can use when your mind is spinning at 2 a.m., if it does. And we're going to talk about the questions people have in their mind but don't really say out loud. The embarrassing ones, the ones that make you feel needed or needy, I should say, even when you are not that needy. You're just being normal. The questions like, why do they text me like that but never make plans? Or why do they act proud of me in private but in public they're weird? Why do they keep me close but keep the future vague? Why do I feel like I'm auditioning for a part? So if you stay with me for the full episode, I'm aiming for you to leave with two things. First, a clear way to separate admiration from charm, chemistry from courtesy, commitment from convenience, and compatibility from fantasy. Second, a way to ask for clarity without sounding like you're begging or trying to trap somebody or writing a contract, but you want to know, right? And some people are very vague and avoidant and non-committal, and and we don't know what happened in their lives, why they're like that, but they are. Maybe you are too in some ways. Because I'm going to tell you something up front. If you're always scared to ask where you stand, or you're already standing in a weak position, not because you're weak, but because uncertainty is a power imbalance. And if one person knows this, what this is, and the other person is guessing, they're not equal in that so-called partnership. So start at the top. Admiration, respect, and feeling valued. What it looks like, what it's not, and what people confuse it with. When people say admiration, they mean, do you respect me? See? Do you see me? Are you proud of me? Are you proud to be around me? Do you value my inner world, my thoughts, my efforts, my pain, my wins? Do you actually like who I am? And when I think about that, I think about the various times when I was in a relationship and the person didn't. I told somebody once that I played hockey, and this person hated hockey. All these hockey players and stuff, and they caused problems in their life, and I don't know to what extent, but obviously because I've heard it a few times, the person must have went through some serious trauma with so-called hockey players. And I'm just riffing here, so just stay with me. But my point is, because I'm saying, where I'm saying my thoughts, my efforts, my pains, my wins, and do you actually like who I am, what I'm about? And I'm here holding back saying, oh, I don't even want to tell you that hockey's my favorite sport. Hockey's basically the first sport I ever played. I used to dominate. And the same people, not the same actually individuals, but the same type of person that gave you problems, who played hockey like I did, um, gave me problems. Same type. Yeah. But I dominated. I was amazing at some level. And the funny thing was, we felt the same way about the same attitudes by the same type of people, but this person roped the whole sport in. You imagine roping a whole thing in because you don't like you don't like some people from a certain culture or a certain thing that they do or a certain craft, and therefore you pick up the craft and you throw it out too. It's wild. But it's just kind of funny because I'm looking back in my life saying, what, this is one thing I didn't really want to talk about. And the funny thing is, um I don't play the sport anymore. I don't watch it. I stopped watching. I a big whole story behind it, which I think I've told on this podcast before. But I stopped watching hockey in 2005. I couldn't tell you a player's name before. I used to know them by face before 2005. 2005, I stopped. But but at the same time, it still made me who I was athletically, and different things about the sport. I learned so many things, but it's like I wouldn't even bring it up in a conversation with this person because of whatever the trauma that they went through, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying all that to say, some of us, some of us are people who like to have the past in the past, and they don't really bring it to the forefront. And I think not always, but a lot of the time, when you refuse to bring who you are fully to the table, or you're not comfortable to bring who you are fully to the table, sometimes you have less to talk about and more silence because you don't talk about certain things. They're kind of off the table. You know what I mean? Anyhow, the reason why all those things matter, again, my thoughts, my efforts, my pains, my wins, and do you actually like me? The reason why this matters is because you can have attraction without admiration. You see it every day on TV, on the internet, right? And that relationship will eventually become a mess, right? Because you're attracted, but you don't even admire me. Admiration is the difference between somebody wanting you and somebody valuing you. And one of the worst things you can happen coming out of a relationship is realizing the person really did not value you like you thought you should be valued. You know? Somebody can want your body and still not value your mind. Somebody can want your attention and still not value your peace. They don't care how you feel. They can stop talking to you and for no reason and not tell you why and just move off somewhere like you're nothing, like you're garbage, and move on to the next one. Somebody can want your stability and still not value your heart. So how do you read admiration in real life? I'll give you 3 places where admiration shows up in. I want you to notice that none of them require mind reading. Number 1, how they respond when you are valuable. When you share something real, not a performance, do they become more careful with you or do they become more careless? It's something you can ask yourself. When you share something real, not a performance, do they become careful with you or do they become more careless? Do they listen? Do they remember? Do they treat it like it matters or do they brush it off and change the subject? Or do they just make a joke and act uncomfortable or whatever? A person who admires you does not only like your highlight reel and everything that you've done great. You don't have to show them everything perfect. You can show them when you slipped. You can show or explain to them how you messed up at work or something. Because they respect your inner world and they make room for you, all of you. Remember that. If they don't make room for all of you, all of your quirks, all of your issues, all of the skeletons that you are willing to bring out in the closet. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that the pattern matters. If you consistently feel unseen, that's information that you need to know and you need to think about. Number 2, how they respond when something good happens for you or to you. This one is huge because you learn a lot about people when you're winning. When you share good news, do they celebrate? Do they add energy to it? Do they ask questions? Do they smile like it happened to them too? Or do they minimize it, compete, get quiet, tell you you're lucky, turn it into their story, or give you a cold little compliment that feels like a tax receipt? If someone cannot be happy for you, you are not safe with them long term. Because life is not only hardship, life is also success, promotion, weight loss wins, creative wins, personal growth wins. You want someone who can clap for you without feeling threatened, someone who can clap for you in front of many people and clap for you by yourself, together. Number 3, how they treat you when there's friction, when there's a problem. This is where admiration gets tested. Anybody can compliment you when things are smooth, generally. Anybody can be affectionate when they are getting what they want. But when you disagree, when you set boundaries, when you say no, do they stay respectful? Do they handle conflict like an adult, or do they punish you with silence, sarcasm, guilt, alienation, intimidation, control, or little jabs that are meant to make you shrink? Because if admiration disappears the moment you stop being convenient, it wasn't admiration. It was just preference, preferential treatment, maybe. And preference changes with mood. Now, let me give you the other side because we're doing this, at a high level, which means we're not just pretending signals are always pure. Early admiration can be inflated. People perform. I see it all the time. Sometimes I see people performing for other people right in front of me. They're supposed to be talking to me, but they're performing for other people. They're getting loud, so the people in the room, or people in the bus, or people in you know what I mean, on the street, in the store, can hear them. People perform. People chase. People mirror you. People are on their best behavior. People are selling themselves. This is at the beginning. And sometimes they are not even lying. They genuinely feel it, in the moment. But feelings are not contracts. So what do you do with that? You look for consistency, right? You want to know if somebody's really being their real self. Is it something they're doing all the time, or is it just sporadic here and there? And look for cost. Look for consistency. Look for cost. Compliments cost nothing. Consistent respect costs something, though. It costs time to be consistent. It costs patience. It costs humility. It costs self-control. When admiration is real, when they really admire you, they're going to be consistent. They're going to be consistently doing things to show you that they admire you. It shows up even when it's slightly inconvenient for them. Now, let me say the quiet part out loud, because a lot of people feel this and don't say it. Sometimes what you call admiration is actually your hunger for validation. Sometimes you are so starved for being seen that just basic politeness feels like love to you. And that's where you get mixed up sometimes. And I'm not saying that as an insult to you. I'm saying it because if you don't name it, you'll keep confusing those little things, those little crumbs for a whole meal. Ooh, they love me. Just because you're polite to me, you love me. So admiration, in my definition for today, is simple. Admiration is how they treat your inner world and whether that respect holds up across vulnerability, success, and friction. All right. Before we move on, let me anchor this a little bit. We are learning how to read 4 things: admiration, mutual attraction, commitment, compatibility. So we can answer the real question: are they choosing me, or am I just present? Because a lot of people are not being chosen, they're being kept around. Okay, let's move on to attraction, mutual attraction, that is. Chemistry versus courtesy, and why we keep second guessing ourselves. Why do you keep second guessing yourself? Mutual attraction is where most people get stuck because attraction has signals, but those signals overlap with friendliness. A warm person smiles, a warm person laughs, a warm person makes eye contact with you, a warm person touches your arm, a warm person remembers details. And you can read all of that as attraction and actually just be wrong. You try to read body language and all kinds of stuff. Oh, they laughed a certain way. They laughed different when I was talking to them, different than they laugh with other people. Oh, she touched my arm. That must mean something. She's always looking at me, even when we're not talking. You can still be wrong. Person might be attracted to you. Doesn't mean they're into you, though. Right? Got to think about that. Hit subscribe to You're Probably Right. Real life, real consequences, and real conversations that don't hide behind safe answers. And at the same time, a shy person can be attracted and give you almost nothing because fear can suppress behavior. Self-consciousness can make someone act colder than they feel. So here's the rule. Don't read attraction from one cue. You read it from a pattern of movement. Mutual attraction is repeated, it's reciprocal, and it's toward each other. Not once, not accidentally, not when they're bored, not when their significant other left them or made them mad that morning. It's repeated, it's reciprocal, it's movement. Okay, let's break it down. The most reliable attraction evidence is, of course, reciprocity. If you initiate, do they return it? Not just reply, return. Do they ask questions back? Do they suggest the next hangout? Do they make room for you in their day? Do they move it forward? Because some people will happily receive attention without returning it. That is not mutual attraction. That is you feeding someone, whatever it is you're feeding them. Mutual attraction has a rhythm. It's a little bit like passing a basketball. If you pass it, they pass it back. If you pass it, they pass it back. If you pass it and they keep it and you have to chase it down every time, then it's not right. Straight up. That's just cardio. Chemistry can be real and still be a trap. Let's talk about chemistry. Because chemistry is the most overrated, misunderstood thing that adults do when they're dating or concern themselves with. Chemistry is a feeling, and it can come from compatibility, but it can also come from uncertainty. Sometimes what you call chemistry is anxiety. It's anticipation. It's your brain trying to solve a puzzle. If someone is inconsistent, your nervous system stays engaged. What? You keep thinking about them, you keep checking, you keep hoping. Your mind starts calling it passion. But peace is not boring. Peace is rare. So one of the most important questions you can ask yourself is, do I feel calmer over time with this person, or do I feel more vigilant? Gotta watch more. Because if you feel more vigilant, that's not romance. That is your body sounding alarm. The argument for reading nonverbal cues. Now, I'm not going to act like cues mean nothing. They do mean something. And a lot of us are just sitting there watching all kinds of cues. Maybe you heard about game back in the day, or all those different pickup and all these kinds of stuff that are total. To me, They probably work at some level, but they're not lasting in many ways. A cluster of cues can be informative for sure. If someone consistently chooses proximity, they lean in, they make time, they initiate contact, they mirror, they laugh, they disclose personal things, they look for your attention, they remember details, they bring you into their world, then that pattern is something for sure. The key is pattern though. But cues are not proof, right? People are social, people flirt without meaning to, people like attention, people are naturally affectionate, people are salespeople, people are lonely. So if you want to be accurate, you need two things. You need pattern over time. That's right, you got to take time. And a tiny bit of respectful direction. And when I say direction, well, not really direction, more like directness. I don't mean what are we, or are you in love with me, or where is this going, or are you my future spouse? I mean simple adult calibration. Here are a few lines you can actually say without embarrassment. 1. I like spending time with you. I want to keep seeing you. Are you feeling that too? Or are you open to going on a real date? Just us, no vagueness, just straight up. Or 3, I'm not looking for something casual. What are you looking for? And notice none of these are begging. None of them are a trap. It's just straight up clarity. And if someone acts like clarity is a crime, pay attention, because that means you're about to go on a roller coaster ride. Because the person who wants you to stay confused usually benefits from your confusion. Do you understand? There's a lot of people that don't want you to know what's around the next corner. Some will try to make you, oh no, I just want to be free flowing and yada yada yada, and I don't want to put any labels on anything. They mysteriously disappear before your birthday and come back after your birthday, or disappear before Valentine's or Christmas, and they mysteriously come back after those celebrations are gone, or you just want to hang out for one night and one night only, or just once a month, or and they got you going back and forth because there's so much space in between the time that you hang out that your whole mind goes on a total whole relationship thing, and they're off about their business and you're confused. Yeah. Now let's talk about the quiet fears people don't really say out loud. The unspoken attraction questions. 1. What if I ask and they say no? I look stupid. What if I ask and it ruins the vibe? Don't kill the vibe. 3. What if they like me, but they want someone else more? Or what if I'm just their ego boost? You ever been somebody's ego boost? What if I'm safe, or I'm just a safe option they keep around while they chase others who they really actually want? Maybe they even tell you about other people when you've taken that. If that's the case, get out of there. I'm just saying. But those are normal fears. And here's the truth: you can't avoid rejection by avoiding clarity. So you might as well just get the clarity, because it's going to happen one way or the other. It's just if you delay it, you usually just invest more. And then finally, when it finally ends, you're just going to hurt more. So if you want to get good at reading mutual attraction, you focus on reciprocity and you practice calm clarity. So we're breaking down admiration again, attraction, commitment, and compatibility, because the goal is not to become a better guesser. The goal is to become a better chooser. You are not only trying to be chosen, remember, you are trying to choose as well. Now we go on to a big one. Commitment. Are they willing to commit with you? And what commitment is made for? Commitment is where people suffer the most, because commitment is where time gets spent. Attraction is exciting, but commitment is consequential, right? There's consequences. And commitment is not just, do they like you? Commitment is, do they intend to maintain this relationship over time, and do their behaviors show it and protect it? Now here's the part that changes the game, really. People can stay in a relationship for two very different reasons. One, dedication. One sorry, one, dedication. They want you, they chose you, they are building with you. Two, constraints. They feel stuck, they feel pressure, they are invested in ways that make leaving hard. Who knows what that is? Could be many things. Both can look like staying. Both can look like commitment on the surface, but one feels like being loved and the other feels like you're being tolerated. So, how do you read commitment? Number one, do they reduce ambiguity or extend it? And if I'm laughing, and you're probably laughing too if you've ever been extended. A person who is ready to commit does not need the situation to stay vague. They want you to know what's going on. They might be scared, but they make time for you. They move towards clarity. Even if it's taking them time, they're moving towards clarity. They're not moving away. They're not hiding and changing the subject. They don't want to keep you in the fog. If months are going by and everything is still undefined, no label, no agreement, no direction, you're not in a relationship. You're in the waiting room of the relationship. Two, do they make decisions that include you? Commitment shows up in decisions, not only words. Do they make medium future plans like birthdays, events, right? Are they planning to be with you on your birthday? Do they want it? It's automatic. The events, maybe you're going to be at New Year's. It's automatic we're going to be together, right? Because we're together, right? Right? Are we? Trips, family functions. Do you get to go to your cousin Nimsi's birthday party with them, or are you being ousted from that? Right? Think about it. Consistent routines, things that require planning and follow through. And do they follow through? Because anybody can talk about the future. Commitment is when the future starts showing up on the calendar in the present. Number three, do they protect the relationship when it costs them something? This one's heavy. It means when they have options, when they have temptations, when they have stress, do they still act in a way that protects your bond with them? Not control, not jealousy, not monitoring. I mean integrity. Do they consider you? Do they communicate? Do they show up? The argument for watching actions, not words. Actions are harder to fake over time because eventually people just fall into what, who and what they are. Someone can say they want you and still disappear when it matters, right? Maybe you're sick. They don't care. They don't check in. So watch what happens when it's inconvenient. Maybe they have their own stuff going on. Do they still check in with you? And that's general. Obviously, there's certain cases where people can't check in. But those are very few. I could give you a few reasons, but I won't bring it up right here. But you could probably think about it. The argument against assuming action, equal dedication. Some people invest because they are afraid to be alone. Some people invest because it benefits them. Yeah. Some people invest because it's easier than starting over with someone else. Some people invest because they are sliding forward. You can move forward without deciding, right? You can become exclusive without talking about it. You can spend every weekend together and still have no agreement. And that, my friend, is dangerous. Why is it dangerous, you ask? Think about it.
Subscribe to You're Probably Right. It's not advice from a pedestal. It's thinking out loud. No 15-second fixes, no model image telling you how to live, just real conversation.
The reason why it's dangerous is because it creates a situation where one person thinks we are building, right? Because so many things are happening, and the other person thinks, we're just hanging out. So here's the rule you can live by. Every time the relationship escalates, match it with one clarifying question. Not 10 questions, just one. Like, if we're spending weekends together, ask, are we exclusive? If we're being intimate, ask, what does this mean to you? If we're talking every day, ask, are you dating other people? If we're meeting friends, ask, how do you see us? You see, this isn't insecurity, people. This is adult behavior. Clarity comes with it. Now, the unspoken commitment fears. The unspoken commitment questions. 1. If I ask for commitment, will they think I'm pressuring them? If I ask for commitment, will they leave? If they leave, does that mean I was no good or not good enough? Am I asking for too much? Why do they act committed sometimes and then pull back at other times? Or am I being used for comfort while they figure out their life? Very possible. Those are all possible. You see, these are real. The answer is not to pretend you don't care. The answer is to care with dignity. Keep your self-respect. Commitment does not require you to chase. Commitment requires you to observe and respond. Simple. If you're nervous all the time about all of that stuff there, then you really got to ask, like, what are you dealing with? Who are you dealing with? If someone wants you, you will not have to do extreme emotional labor to keep them connected to you. And the third anchor. What are we doing and why? So remember, admiration, attraction, commitment, and compatibility. Because people confuse, progress with choice. Just because something is moving does not mean you are being chosen. Trust me, I learned that out the hard way. Let's go to compatibility, the thing people avoid because it sounds boring until the relationship collapses. And suddenly, compatibility is the only thing that matters. Compatibility is not, do we like the same music? Compatibility is, do we handle life well together? It can be some yin and yang action there, because life will apply pressure, bills, stress, kids, family, time, health, work, exhaustion, temptation, conflict, grief, ambition, fatigue. These are all part of every relationship. Of course, you don't have kids, but you know what I mean. Compatibility is what happens when the pressure really hits. So here's how I want you to think about it. Compatibility is a combination of what you bring and what they bring, and what the relationship becomes when those things meet. Two people can both be good people, and as they say, good people. That's, of course, debatable depending on how you read the Bible. It says we're all born and shaped in iniquity, and people don't like when I say that, but just read the Bible, man. Anyway, people can be good people, there's a quote, air quotes, and still be a bad match because their patterns trigger each other. One person needs reassurance, the other person needs space. One person talks out things, the other person shuts down. One person moves fast, the other moves slow. Keep up. Compatibility is not about who's right, it's about whether the system works. Right. The biggest compatibility test is, do we become better together? Right? Maybe there's things you don't know, but they do know a lot about it. And they don't make you dumb or make you feel dumb for not knowing it. They just help you along. You know, they what's it called? They add something to the situation that's positive in a positive way. Do you become more secure, more stable, more open, more grounded, more yourself when you're around together? Or do you become smaller, more anxious, more reactive, more suspicious, more exhausted? Do you have to pay attention to everything you put on your body and how your makeup is, and you got to suck in your belly and like, you know what I mean? Can you be you? And does it cause a problem when you're just being you and when they're being them? Because some relationships feel like you're always on call, always managing, always adjusting, always trying to earn normal treatment. That is not compatibility. That is you doing emotional overtime. Similarity is not the same as compatibility. So what if you like the same music? So you can be similar and it still not work. You can be different and it still works. The key is not sameness. The key is adaptability and, of course, my favorite, respect. Can you repair after conflict? Can you take feedback without revenge? Can you communicate needs without manipulation? Can you maintain your individuality without punishment, as I was saying earlier? And these are the unspoken fears that people worry about usually. What if we are attracted, but we are not built for each other? What if I'm wasting years? What if they're good, but not good for me? What if the reason it feels hard is not love? It's a mismatch. What if I keep picking the same type and calling it chemistry? And now we can land the plane. Are they choosing you? That's the question. What being chosen actually looks like. Being chosen is not constant intensity. Being chosen is clarity and consistency, and some would say it looks boring. Sometimes. It is someone who makes decisions that remove doubt, not someone who keeps you guessing. It's someone who respect does not disappear when it's inconvenient. All of a sudden there's no respect. It's gone out the window. It is someone whose attraction shows up in reciprocal movements, not you carrying the whole connection by yourself. Do they make you laugh? Do you make them laugh? Or do they tell you have no sense of humor and they don't like your jokes? It is someone whose attraction shows up as a reciprocal movement, as I said. You're not just you're not just doing, and they're just kind of like, all right, okay, I guess I have to. I guess I'll be there. I guess we're gonna go. All right. No, they want to be with it. They're with it. It's someone who commitment shows up, willingness, and like there's willingness there. There's a definite plan that they want to be there. That's where they want to be, and they show it by their behavior. Do they protect the relationship? Is there follow through when you guys make plans? It's someone whose compatibility with you shows up as you become more at peace over time. So you fit like a glove. It's the easiest way I can put it. It's like a glove that fits you, of course, not an OJ Simpson glove. You're definitely you're gonna know what's happening over time. So time is gonna make it more comfortable, not less comfortable. You won't be more confused over time. You'll be less. Last year was that way, now you're this way. And you're just, not only because you're familiar, but there's a sense of peace in the relationship. And here's the part people don't like because it forces accountability. Being chosen also includes you choosing back. Being chosen also includes how you feel about them, not only how they feel about you. So you're, as I said, choosing back. A lot of people say they want to be chosen, but they ignore what they're being shown. They romanticize the uncertainty. They get addicted to the chase. They call inconsistency mysterious. They call distance maturity. They call vague affection love. Ugh. No, sometimes the truth is simpler. Sometimes they like you, but it's not enough. Sometimes they want you, but they're not serious. Sometimes they enjoy you, but they're not ready. Sometimes they are ready, but not for you. And none of that makes you worthless. It means at least you have information, you have data. So now I want to give you something practical, a small toolkit you can use without turning your life into a surveillance mission. Number one, first tool, track bids and returns for 2 weeks. Not forever, 2 weeks. Notice who initiates, who returns, who moves forward, who makes it easy, who makes it confusing. If the pattern is you reaching and them receiving, you have your answer. Straight up. Number two, separate attraction from availability. Somebody can be attracted and unavailable. Stop letting attraction talk you into ignoring availability. Availability looks like plans, follow through, clarity, and consistency. Number three, tool 3. One clarity question per escalation. Yeah. Not speeches, not emotion, not courtroom action, just one question. Like, are we exclusive? What are you looking for? How do you see this going in the future? What does commitment mean to you? Are you open to building something real? If the conversation keeps getting avoided, again, you have your information. Watch what happens. Number 4, watch what happens after you express need. Yeah, this is a big one. A healthy person may not meet every need perfectly, but they do not punish you for having needs. If you express something reasonable and you get mocked, dismissed, punished, or controlled, that is not love, that's ego. Number 5, check your body, not just your mind. Over time, you do feel calmer and more vigilant. Calmer usually is a green flag. Vigilant usually is your system is telling you that something's off. You're always watching. You're always worried that something's going to pop off. That's not good. That's the beginning of walking on eggshells. That's not a good thing. So let's bring it home. Today, we were talking about admiration, mutual attraction, commitment, and compatibility, because those 4 things answer the real questions. Are they choosing me? Admiration is how they treat your inner world and who you are across vulnerability, success, friction. Mutual attraction is repeated in its reciprocal movements towards each other, not single cues and not fantasy. Commitment is intention plus protective behavior. And you have to be able to tell the difference between dedication and being stuck. Compatibility is how your 2 systems handle life together. Do you become more secure or more unstable? And being chosen is when clarity and consistency or consistent actions reduce ambiguity between you two. So if you are listening to this and you feel called out or you feel emotional or you feel exposed, it's not a bad thing, because again, you're waking up and you're seeing what's up. You need to know what's up. You need that clarity. And I want you to remember this. You are not asking for too much by asking to be chosen clearly. You are asking the right person? But the bottom line is you need to know. The wrong person will call it pressure. Yeah, that's right. The right person will call it respect. You deserve to know what's up. Where are you going? Where is this going? If you take anything from this episode, I know it's highly structured. Don't always do it this way, but this one happens to be this way. Let it be this. Stop trying to become so impressive that someone finally decides to keep you. Start deciding that you will only stay where you are respected, where things are reciprocated and clear. Because being wanted feels good, but being chosen on purpose, that changes your life. It's a thing they make speeches out of one day. This is You're Probably Right, episode 315, Chosen, Not Confused. And if you want, in the next episode, well, you'd have to email me, of course. We can go deeper. But I don't think I'm going to go exactly this way. Didn't feel like it flowed, but hopefully this was informational at least. Probably can get all my amazing personality in this one, but hopefully you know what's up now. Anyhow, this is You're Probably Right. Hopefully one day, or maybe you have been chosen. Hopefully it hit home in some way. I want you to feel good about what your situation is and where you're going, and you're not being used. Don't allow people to use you and take you for granted and be dismissive about your feelings and care for you. You deserve what they deserve. We all deserve on this planet, well, again, if you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to get married to somebody, they need to respect you. They need to love you. They need to know how to show you affection. They need to know to show you that you are also important. And the things that you want matter to them almost as much. And if they matter as much to them, then that's even better. But the things that make you who you are, the things that make you tick, the things that wind you up, the things that excite you, the things that satisfy you, these are the things that the other person should desire to want to give, to want to do, because you are theirs and they are yours in marriage, right? That's where most people are trying to head to. Anyhow, y'all, I'm going to sign off right now. Until next time, this is MCM signing off from You're Probably Right. Take care. Man, that was a weird one. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 ducks. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon. Ooh, yeah. Listen. It's getting late and I'm still wide awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the space you take. One day you're here, next day you're gone, and I'm just trying to understand where we went wrong. You only love me in the middle of the night, then you fade away with the morning light. I need to know, is this for real? Tell me how you truly feel. Oh, yeah. I give my all, you give me half your heart. You say the words, but we just stay so far apart. These mixed signals are tearing me down, lost in the silence when you're not around. Tell me how you feel. How you really feel. Is any of this real? Just tell me, yeah. Tell me, baby. Oh. You only love me in the middle of the night. Then you fade away with the morning light. I need to know, is this for real? Tell me how you truly feel.